Hello. Today I'm going to tell you a story and then take you with me as I do a couple of things. So let me start with the story because that's going to help everything else make sense. Today is March 20th in 2018, and this day last year, it's the first day of spring, so last year was a Monday, and as I do frequently, I decided to go to the botanical gardens before I went in to teach. So I teach piano at a music school in the Tower Grove neighborhood in St. Louis, and the botanical gardens in St. Louis are very close. So we have a membership there, and I frequently like to go there before I go teach. So being the first day of spring, and as I remember, it was a nice day. It wasn't super warm, but it was a nice enough day, as I remember. Anyway, so one of the things I did was I went to the Climatron, which is this huge dome. It's a big glass dome, and inside is essentially a jungle. It's very humid. There's always something blooming in there. And it's got paths that go to different levels, and it's a really cool place. My husband hates it, but I think it's pretty awesome. Anyway, so I went to the Climatron, and part of what I was doing as I was wandering around, the first day of spring, was I was having a bit of a dialogue in my head with my mom. At that point, she'd been in hospice care for about a month, I believe. And I was feeling all kinds of things. I was feeling conflicted about just about everything. You name it, and I was conflicted about it. It was just a horrible time. But I had decided, as I was walking and talking to her in my head, I sat down and I thought, okay, Mom, it's okay. I don't even know where the idea came from. But that's what I did. I said, it's okay. You can go. Have some peace. We're going to be all right. I can take care of them. I've got this. Have some peace. No peace, no rest, no peace. That's all I really wanted for her, was peace. I knew from many conversations several years prior to this, conversations with my mom, that a long drawn out end was not something that she wanted. And so I was just making my own peace with this. And then I, kind of bucked up and went and taught piano lessons. And the next morning, which was also my husband and I's wedding anniversary, he was at work, and I woke up to the sound of his truck pulling into the driveway, and it would have only been like an hour after he should have started working. And I knew, there's no other reason why he would have come home like that at that time. And sure enough, I put my phone on silent, so I hadn't gotten any of the phone calls. My sister and my dad had been trying to call me. I don't have my phone on silent at night anymore after that. But anyway, so she died very early in the morning on the next day. But since tomorrow is our anniversary, today is going to be the day that I always choose to remember my mom. I mean, that's a silly thing to say because I remember her constantly. She's always with me, in the best way. Don't say that badly. I think about her all the time. I think now that it's a little bit funny that I thought I was ready, because no matter how ready you think you are, you're not. I'll say that. So anyway, so that happened a year ago today. The past year has been a roller coaster. A lot of things have happened, and you know, life is as mysterious and wonderful as you want it to be, maybe. At least I think that's how it's been for me. Okay, that's not the rest of this video. So now what I want to do is I'm going to tell you another story, sort of. My mom was a Diet Dr. Pepper fiend. She drank it constantly. It was like water. I think there were different times in the last few years when she was off of it. But my life, like as a kid, there was always Diet Dr. Pepper in the fridge. And if she had a glass or a cup, it probably had Diet Dr. Pepper in it. That's just the way it was. I think it's disgusting. I don't like diet soda or diet candy or diet anything. If it's supposed to be sweet, then it's sweet. Period. You don't need to fake it. And if you try to fake it, it's probably gross. Yeah. So anyway, when she died, there was a 2-liter Diet Dr. Pepper that had not been opened. And I took that with us to the memorial service and sat it on the table with all the family photos. And then I brought it home and put it on my piano. But it cannot stay there because a variety of things. But practically speaking, eventually, and I know it'll take years, but eventually the plastic that it's in, the bottle, is going to disintegrate and then be quite a mess. Since no one is going to drink it, and I don't even think I would give it to someone if I knew anyone that would drink it, because this was Mom's, but also because they shouldn't be drinking it. It's nasty. Don't drink it. It's poison. It's horrible. So I'm going to dump it down the drain, which I know isn't any better, but I don't want to put it in directly into the ground out here. I mean, I don't know. It's going to go down the drain. And then I'm going to take the label off of it and use that for the project I'm going to work on today. And of course, recycle the bottle. So I think there was one other thing I was going to say before we got started with everything else, but now I don't remember what it was. That's all right. If I need to, I'll think of it. Yeah. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'll film dumping the soda out and taking the label off. Oh, and then I should tell you what I'm going to make. I'm going to make a book, well, really a book cover, to house all of the cards and things from that people sent to me when she died, and some of the memorabilia from her memorial service, so the program, things that, just other things that I have from that. So this is not going to be a book of my mom. It's not going to be, I mean, there will be memorabilia and such on the cover. I'm going to collage the cover. But it's going to be specific to her memorial service and her death. It's not necessarily, because I really think I will make a book at some point that is about my mom. I just remembered what the other thing was. Okay, so I promise this is the last thing, and then we'll do something. I won't just sit here and talk to you all day. And this is the reason why I'm making a video about this. It's kind of important. Recently, I love listening to audiobooks, and recently I listened to Brené Brown's newest book, Braving the Wilderness. I think I've listened to it 3 times now. And in the book, she interviews Viola Davis, the actress. And one of the things that Viola Davis says, and I think, if I remember right, what she's saying are, this is the rule she lives by, kind of a thing. It's one of them. There were just 3 or 4. Anyway, the thing is, she says, I will not be a mystery to my children. And that just shook me. I mean, so many things are profound in that book that rattled me, but that really got to me because, you know, when I think about my parents, my dad's kind of an open book. And if you know him, you know what I'm talking about. So he'll tell you just about anything about himself, about, you know, and he's full of stories, and he's very open, and this is how he is. And my mom was a loving, kind person, very hospitable, very generous, but not necessarily an open book. In fact, I would say that her book was closed and locked shut and hidden so that you wouldn't recognize it if you saw it. That's what I would say. Other people may have other stories about that, but so one of my regrets that I mean, there's been a lot, but in the last year, one of the things I've regretted the most was that I didn't have the courage to go ahead and talk to her and ask her things that I wish I knew now about her. Because the things I wish I knew now about her are not things that anyone else can tell me. They can't. No matter how well you knew her, I don't believe that you could have spoken for her on some of the things I've really wished that I had the guts, the chutzpah to ask her about, talk to her about. So, yeah, I think part of that is because there was a lot of taboos in our family culture, at least where Mom was concerned. And yeah, rattling cages was not something that we did. And I think it would have felt like rattling cages, or at least being radical, to try to talk to her about some of the things that I wish I'd talked to her about now. And so, I don't have any kids, and I'm not going to, but I do have kids in my life that I love as much, at least it seems that way. I can't imagine loving kids more than I love my sister's kids or my best friend's kids. And so I don't want to ever be a mystery to them the way Mom is to me. I mean, there are lots of ways that she's not a mystery to me. I'm not trying to say that she was all cloak and dagger and mysterious, because, I mean, that is not the impression that you should take away from this, and I hope you don't. But her inner life and her inner thoughts and that kind of thing, which should be private and personal, I get it, from the main part of the world, but I really wish that I had known that part of her better. Yeah. And because of that, I don't want the day to come when I have died and there are people who I dearly loved who wish that they had known me better, if that makes sense. And I don't know that making this video is necessarily going to change that, but I think this is the first step, maybe. I don't know, because this is like a vlog, and I'm not going to start doing a daily vlog, but I might start doing a weekly thing or a monthly thing. I don't know. We'll see. I don't need more things that take up time out of my day, but this whole medium of film through YouTube and live videos on Facebook and all of that is great because so many people can access it. And so I think that's fantastic. But I really don't like the technical side. I don't mind this part where I just talk to a camera. That's no big deal. Or setting a camera up while I'm making something. Not a big deal. But whenever I have to upload this to the computer and then try to format it or edit it or whatever it is that I do with the software that I have, which is just the software that came on the computer, that part I hate. So I'm really not promising that there will be a lot of vlogs coming. But whenever I think of something like today, like the story about, I realized I told my husband about this a month ago. And I had, so that it had been 11 months that I knew I went and said goodbye to my mom in the Climatron the day before she died. But nobody else knew. I hadn't told anybody. And I never thought about the fact that I hadn't told anybody. So now I've told the story. Now that I've told the story, I'm going to dump out the soda and I'm going to make a book. And I'm going to make it pretty and I have this day for this thing, marking this end of the first year without my mom. Crazy. Just crazy. So, stick with me. So, the piano, I have to show you this. It has a lot of mom things on it. So this rabbit, my mom made me this many moons ago. That's Mom and me on my wedding day. This is a desk thing from my mom's family. My mom's dad brought me that doll from India. Mom gave me that picture. I just realized this when I came in here. I didn't plan it this way. These things, with the exception of that Diet Dr. Pepper, were already on the piano. Like, this is already how this was. Those are her parents. This is something I made, but I made it for Grammy, Mom's mom. And the fact that I cross-stitched something is because of my mom. So here's the Diet Dr. Pepper, the last 2 liter. And, oh, and then this is a thing that she cross-stitched in, I believe, 2003. Yeah. So anyway, so this is the bottle. I'm gonna go dump it down the drain. Let's see if I can do this with one hand. Maybe not. Hold on. Oh, that smell. Oh, that smell. Okay. Whew. It's crazy. You can hear it through that drain. Fizzing. Maybe it's going to clean the drains. I don't know. Alright, I did it. Alright, take that wrapper off and go upstairs. Ah, there we go. Okay. So, I have a really funny thing to tell you about this book. Worked on the front cover, did all this stuff, so I'll show it to you. Put a pansy here. I'll explain these clips in a second. Put this quote on the back. There's a few little washi tape quote things there. Put some brads here, or eyelets. They're not brads, they're eyelets, to make the tie. Okay, so I got all this. I had most of this done, right? And then I thought, oh, I need to work on the inside. And honestly, this is so perfectly my mom. She would just laugh and probably love the fact that I'm just going to leave it the way that I'm leaving it, because once I realized what I'd done, I couldn't undo it without ruining certain elements that I'd specifically chosen for this. And I didn't want to do that. And I didn't want to I couldn't start over. I mean, I guess I could, but perfection is not that important. I mean, it really isn't. And it's not always what you think it is. So if you leave this right side up and you open it up, everything's upside down inside. So you have to turn it around. It's like its own little secret in order for the inside to be right side up. Man. Yes, she's definitely, yeah, she'll laugh and laugh and laugh. So, but I finished it. I had to do, because I wanted to put this stuff on the spine, the strings that everything is attached to in there couldn't really go over here or it would cover this up, and I didn't want to do that. So I made these little, let's see if I can show you what I did. I'm trying to remember to look at the view in the camera. I made these little bands and glued them down, and I didn't have the patience to wait all day for that to glue to dry before I went in and put this stuff on. So these clips are holding that there. until it's dry. So I'll take the clips off tomorrow, and then it'll be truly finished. So yeah, this is what I made. I've got the program from her memorial service here. Her obituaries over here. And I've left a few places where I can add things if I want to. And then these are just the cards and things that people gave me, sent to me. Lots of them were from students. That really touches me. And then a couple of things that I sent to my mom. I showed you those before. So this was a card made by one of my students. This is another one. There are lots of things in here from students. Okay. So anyways, this is the thing that I read at the service, and more things from children and students. So the book is done, and I'm going to spend most of the rest of my day baking, which is another thing that, first of all, my mom taught me how to do it, and so I'll never bake without thinking about my mom. So this, I really am glad that I found this to put on the front, and yeah. Children will not remember you for the material things you provided, but for the feeling that you cherished them. It's attributed to Richard L. Evans. I'm not sure who that is, but this is so true. And I definitely knew that my mom loved me. Yes, I did. Still do. Really can't think of a better gift. So, I think this will be the end of my little vlog today. Thank you for watching this, and that's all.